My name is Nick. I'm here with Yarbrough Sons. Here at this customer's house, they had an issue with their water heater. Coming to look at it, there was water in the pan. Most of the time that's telling me that the internal tank has busted, it's leaking, it's rusted out from hard water. The age of the tank's 11 years old. It's a 50-gallon propane water heater, and I'm out today to replace it. We're gonna get it drained and get the process started and get them swapped out as fast as we can. This is a boiler drain on the water heater. I'm hooking up a hose to it, and there's a valve here that you turn on, and this will drain it. I have the valve shut off on the top because the whole house is still on. The valve just controls the hot water, so I'm just hooking this up, and I'm gonna drain this tank and get it to where I can physically pull it out by myself. They can be pretty heavy if it's full of water. So even on the boiler drain alone, you have a little bit of corrosion and sediment buildup. And with all this hard water, it's just causing it to not work properly. So that's your biggest issue with these water heaters being this old and having this much hard water on it. The hard water is the reason why you want to flush these every year, at least once a year, and it helps get the sediment buildup out of it, and changing the anode rod and stuff like that helps with all that too. So, I mean, coming across this, I see a lot of 10, 11, 12-year-old water heaters that there's just the tanks are gone inside and there's nothing else to do but replace it. You can't change the internal part of it out. It all has to be replaced. There's nothing you can do about those. So they put a cap inside the drain line. I don't know who did, but if you know the pan is to catch water, if your TMP's leaking into the pan, or if the tank itself goes, it's supposed to drain, and somebody capped it and defeats the purpose of having the drain here in the first place. So we'll go in here with a new pan, set up new drain, and get it all working the right way and bring it all up to code the right way. So run CPVC pipe instead of PVC. CPVC is what it's supposed to be code-wise. So we're gonna get it all taken care of and the customer fixed up and do it the right way. PVC isn't supposed to be ran on hot lines, and your water heater is all hot water, so it's not manufactured for that high of a temperature. If your TMP's popped, that water is over 140 degrees, and the PVC is not meant for that hot of water, so we run it all in CPVC. And right now I am unscrewing the water lines. It gets airlocked if you don't, and it won't drain at all if you're not if you don't have these unscrewed. Right now, it's hard to hear, but you can hear it not airlocked anymore with me having this one open line. So while I'm draining it, I can prep water lines and make sure everything's functioning properly. The flue, it is old, and we're gonna get rid of that. It has a hole in it, so we're gonna get a new flue on it and make sure all that's functioning properly too for the customer. I come across flue pipes that have been duct taped together, foil taped together, just band-aided together, and in the garage is still not the best, but if it's in a house, that gets the gases leaking into your house instead of going out like it's supposed to, so it becomes dangerous that way. So we're gonna fix that way it's safe for the customer, and they're not getting all that gas in their house, in their garage, filling up all their garage. See, it's draining full stream now. 50-gallon, depending on how much sediment buildup's in the bottom of it. If I don't force it out with air, approximately 10-15 minutes it'll take to drain out. I kind of have a trick that I put an air gauge on it and an air compressor, and I force the water out faster. That way it drains a little faster for me, just to take care of the customer faster. So the more sediment, the worse it is. If you have sediment, it's electric water heater, it eats up your heating elements really bad, and they'll stop working, break in half usually because of the hard water, and then you're replacing those all the time. So flushing them helps for sure. Like I said, I recommend once a year, and that way maybe the life of the water heater will last a little longer. Right now I'm just unhooking the supply line to the gas. I got it shut off right here. It's not quite up to code. It doesn't have a drip leg on it, so every time we install water heaters, we bring them up to code, no matter what it is. Even if this one doesn't have an expansion tank, it doesn't have hammer arrestors, it will have all that by the time I'm done. And then your TMP is ran in 3/4 PEX. Well, nowadays that is not code, so I'll run it in 3/4 CPVC down and run it into the pan instead of down into the drain like they have it. It just looks cleaner, and that's why you have a pan drain, is if that ever decides to pop, you have the pan drain to run down into it. So we'll get them all set up and it all brought up to code like it's supposed to be. Hard water to me is one of the highest things on killing a water heater. Without having the softener, it not only ruins your water heater, it ruins your fixtures inside it. Where they don't function properly, the pressure on them is not as good, and you're having to replace them more often, more frequently than having the water heater. Especially here in Oklahoma, there's a lot of places that have hard water, and this right here helps with a lot of that. So there's just some prep stuff, like I said, I can do. I'm gonna put a drip leg on here on the gas to make it code, and get that prepped, get some stuff cut off here. That way when it's undone, when it's empty, I can be able to get it out of there easier. One person picking it up, you want it to be as empty as possible. So the 50 gallons is a lot of weight.
Yeah, but that's pretty heavy.
One of the big issues is that we get a lot from customers is pricing, and over the last 5 years, any prices, water heaters for sure, have just skyrocketed. The water heaters alone have gone up hundreds of dollars compared to what they used to be. You can't buy a water heater for $500-600 anymore just at the supply house. They're way higher than that. With them being higher than that, everybody has to go up on their prices to cover for material and stuff like that too. So something fairly new for us, but you can go on our website and go on there, go to Instant Estimate. You can get the price of what we would charge for whatever you need. If it's a water heater, if it's a faucet you need to be replaced, you can look that up, get a price, and know it before we even show up at your house. And if you like the price, call us, set the appointment up, and we'll get out there and change it out for you. So one thing with this flue is it's broken and it was pieced together. One reason why it's bad is it lets the fumes in your house or garage or whatever, but also if you see inside it, it's black and all that stuff, if it's going out into the air, that's going to go out into your lungs and stuff like that. And this stuff isn't good to breathe in at all. So you never want a broken, just pieced together flue pipe. You want it to be one piece and sealed properly. So that's one negative about just band-aiding these together. This is a Pro Press fitting, and what it is it's converting my copper line to PEX, and it just it makes it life easier to work on it. And if there's ever any situations in the future, it'll just be easier. But it just presses the fitting on and crimps it like a crimp ring on a PEX fitting, so it's pretty nice to have. And this mechanism is when you turn on your water, it absorbs your water hitting. If your water pressure is pretty high, it absorbs where it doesn't vibrate your lines in your walls. This is what these are for, and these are to code. when you turn on your water, sometimes you'll hear it hammering in your walls, and this is what these are for, is to absorb that hammering in your walls on your water. It makes it to where it doesn't rattle the pipes in the walls. You know, the vibration of pipes in the walls, there could spring a pinhole leak if it's copper, if it's anything, and this is trying to help prevent that. I bet they have a minimum of 25 to 50 pounds extra of just sediment in it. We just load it in our truck and dispose of it. I imagine you'd have anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, maybe even more, of sediment in the bottom of it. And there's all the water leaking out of the bottom. One of the big factors for us, A.O. Smith, state water heaters, they're manufactured same factory. They're the ones we prefer. Bradford White, we have a lot of problems with their gas valves where they're having to be replaced in less than 5-6 years, and you have a 6-year warranty, and most of the time they're under that warranty, but you know, gas valves shouldn't go out that fast. So this is a better quality to us, personal opinion. We don't have near the problems that we do with the Bradford White, so we install A.O. Smith as much as possible. So some people do it different. I will put a brass T on, 3/4 brass T on my inlet side of the water heater, and I will throw a brass nipple off the T with a 90, and that's where I put my expansion tank. To me, when you install it, it's a little cleaner look, and it's supported by metal instead of being a strap on the wall or hanging down on the ground. I do this and I hang it up, I put it up in the air on a brass T and a brass 90. That way my expansion tank's kind of out of the way, and I think it looks a little cleaner whenever I install it this way. So that's what I'm putting on here right now. Oh wow. Giving me a little bit more grip, and I can wrap my, since I can't reach all the way around it, I can wrap my whole belt all the way around it. I got it installed, and now I just have to hook up the water lines and the flue and get it all prepped and ready to go, so they have hot water in the next hour or so. Now I'm just lining up the valve. You want it, by code, it needs to be facing out. That way if something happens to the gas valve, you know, gas fire, if it explodes, you're working on it, it'll at least let you get out of the way if there's something that malfunctions with it. Where if it's turned and you're trying to work on it and you get trapped, you can definitely get injured pretty bad. So by code, this is why it has to face outwards, and you're supposed to have a 30-inch clearance in front of it all. So you're not supposed to stack anything in front of it, and have easy access to it and easy access to get out away from it if you need to. A lot of people are wanting to go to tanklesses. It's the new thing, and I definitely think they're good for everything, just for your hot water purposes and keeping up with a big family with a lot of kids, or even if you only have 1 or 2 kids. They're definitely worth the process. They're quite a bit more expensive than a tank, but me personal, I think they're worth it, and I have 2 kids of my own, so it's definitely a plus. Nice. Doing the final touches on it. This is an expansion tank, and this is code now, that this takes some of the pressure off of the tank itself, and this is attached to your inlet side of your water heater, and like I said, it's supposed to absorb some of the pressure and not have all the pressure on the tank whenever you install this. So it goes on the inlet. It'll look something like this whenever I'm done. It sits right here. Just like I said, I like to do the T in the 90. It looks a little neater and cleaner. That's just my personal opinion, but I like the look of this a little better. You have to do this by code in the state of Oklahoma for sure. This is supposed to go on every new water heater install, along with your hammer arrestors. All this is code. It has been in effect for quite a few years, but it hasn't been in effect for 10. So it's something newer to the plumbing code. Plumbing codes always change to improve the quality, make things better. Okay. And that's your expansion tank. One thing with Yarbrough Sons that I know we try to be adamant about is keeping up to all the codes. If it's not up to code and we see it on a job, you know, we bring that to the customer's attention, try to explain to them why it's code now, or we try to explain to them, you know, that 10 years ago this wasn't code, but you know, we can bring it up to code for you. That way, if we ever have to work on anything extra, we won't have to bring it up to code the next time. It'll be brought up to code and the most efficient we can get out of the product. So I got it all connected and I will let it fill up. All I have left, I'm hooking up a new gas shutoff drip leg. Drip leg's code nowadays. There wasn't a drip leg on it before. And I'm gonna hook up my new gas flex line and get the water heated up, get it ready where they can have functioning hot water again. 2.5 hours is what it took me to swap out a old unit with a new unit and get it brought up to code. Most of the time they take approximately that long. I mean, some days we have it better than others, but right around 2 hours or so is how long it takes me most days. So like I said, I'm at the end of it now and I'm getting it all ready to fire up and them to get hot water.
Yarbrough